Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another gameplay impressions, and today we're going to be taking a look at Steamworld Heist for the 3DS. This title was sent to me by Nintendo so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. Unfortunately, I still don't have a reliable means to capture 3DS footage, so I'm going to be showing some trailer footage somewhere in here and some gameplay that I can find throughout the interwebs so that you guys get a general idea of what the game looks like and how the game plays, and I will be telling you how I feel about what I've played so far. At this point, I've played about 3 to 4 hours of the main campaign, as well as some side quests that I found along the way. And I'm currently playing in the experience difficulty, which is a little bit more challenging than the normal difficulty, because I kind of felt that normal was probably going to be a little bit too easy. And I think I made the right choice there, because experienced feels just right without actually being overwhelmingly difficult. And now you guys might be wondering, how exactly does the game play? And if I had to put it in words, I would say it's kind of like an XCOM in 2 dimensions. So when you get into these levels, you will see like a 2D layout, almost like a platformer, but each platform is connected through stairs or through some special trap door or something like that. And you will be able to like move along through these platforms and whatnot. These are all spaceships. And as you move through these, you will be able to open new doors and find new enemies and fight through them. But how exactly do you fight in this game? Well, it's 2D, tactical, turn-based. I almost want to say RPG, because the characters level up and you get loot and you get all that stuff. So it kind of feels like RPG. But there's a little bit of a real-time element to it as well. So as you are going through these platforms and engaging enemies and whatnot, there's a mechanic, which is when you actually aim to shoot. You can ricochet stuff off walls, and depending of which weapons you have, you will be able to ricochet more or less, or maybe if you have a grenade launcher, your grenade launcher would kind of like ricochet off of certain surfaces, but if it hits enemies, it will explode, or you can just make it ricochet in a way that will explode next to enemies. And then there's also explosive barrels, and there's all of these things that you will have to take into consideration as you play through the game. There's also cover elements there, so you can like hide behind barrels and stuff to prevent enemies from shooting at you. And there's also melee in case the enemies get close enough to engage in melee combat. You will encounter different crew members as you play through the game that you will be able to recruit and stuff, and they will fulfill different roles. So for instance, your main character, Captain Piper, she's actually more of a sharpshooter type of deal, so she will have this weapon, which depending on which weapon you have, you will actually be able to sometimes only shoot if you don't move. But other times you'll have other weapons which will be less precise, but you'll be able to move and shoot. So again, every time you will have this kind of like risk-reward type of deal, depending on which equipment you equip for your loadout. But yeah, she's more of a sharpshooter type of deal, and the cool thing about it is that you can actually like see there's like a laser sight on your gun, and you can see where she's aiming. You can make all these crazy trick shots, like bounce off a wall and then ricochet into another wall and then ricochet and hit the enemies on the back, or bounce off of like 3, 5, 6 walls and then hit an explosive barrel and blow up a bunch of enemies. There are a lot of trick shots that you can do with Piper. The other characters so far have been more straightforward. You can also bounce stuff like, say, you fire a shotgun into the ceiling and then like the pellets will actually rain down on your enemies, and you know, there's tactical stuff like that, and it's kind of cool. I've experienced some variety of enemies up until this point, yeah, that I guess in a nutshell, that's essentially what the gameplay feels like. There's a couple of more aspects to it, like there's an overworld that you go through with your ship. You have a ship, naturally, because you're a space pirate. And you go through this overworld type deal. It works kind of like a Mario world almost, because you will, as you complete missions, you will gather these stars, and you will need to unlock a certain amount of stars, which I think they're considered reputation. So the more objectives you complete within each mission, the more reputation you get, which will allow you to go further and deeper into the galaxy. So sometimes you will have to do missions a certain way to get as much reputation as possible to enable you to unlock the next stages of the game. The game has not only just the main quest, but also has several side quests that you can involve yourself in. And all of the levels are procedurally generated, and that's the interesting part, because there's no way to actually guide someone through a level like, okay, you take this character for this level, you go here, you shoot the thing there. And that I thought was pretty cool, particularly because sometimes you might fail a mission. You're like, aha, but now I know, because that happened to me, for instance. I was like, I failed one of the missions. I was like, but now I know what I got to do. And then I go back there and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't the level I played before, god damn it. And so there's always that element of randomness to it, so you can keep on playing. I believe the game also has New Game Plus, even though I haven't experienced that yet, so you can keep on going even after you finish the main storyline. In their website, they boast around 15 hours of gameplay, excluding side missions, so just like 15 hours just for the main mission, so that's pretty cool. There's a ton of loot to gather, which they call loot swag, and it's very frustrating for me because whenever I hear the word swag, I just want to like jab forks into my eardrums so that I can never hear the fucking thing again. But that's like a personal type of thing. Something that I really like about the game is the art style. The art style is pretty cool. These are like robots that are Steam bots, which is why it's called Steamworld. Although in this case, it will almost be more appropriate to call it Steam Universe, but I guess they didn't think that through because they called it Steamworld when they did Steamworld Dicks, not just like Steamworld Heist. But yeah, there's a lot of places that you can go to. You can dock with enemy ships. Whenever you go into the enemy ships, you actually dock into them before you go on the mission. That's a pretty cool little detail. You actually see like a 2D thing of your ship docking into other ships, which also happens when you go to bars and stuff, because you can actually go to like these space bars and you can buy gear and you can recruit more crew and that kind of stuff, and it's pretty cool. It's challenging and it's fun. More importantly, like, I think it's just the most important thing here, I feel, is that if you like the way that the game looks, from what you guys can see in the trailer and stuff that I have looping there, and if it looks like this gameplay is fun to you, particularly the aiming mechanic thing, I personally find it fun. But if you think the gameplay is fun for you, then you can't really go wrong. The game is solid. It works fine. I like what they did with the 3D, because even though it's a 2D game, they obviously had to work with the whole 3DS mechanic of the 3D and whatnot. And I thought it looked pretty good, the way that they handled the whole 3D stuff. I thought it looked really interesting. Not a lot of games, make a decent usage of the 3D, even though I play all of my games in 3D mode. But I feel that this particularly, like the way that they handled the depth and whatnot, I thought it looked cool. But again, could be just me. So yeah, this is pretty much the game in a nutshell. Like I said, I don't have a lot of gameplay that I can show you, so it's going to be a pretty short video. But in my opinion, I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. If you guys like what you see on the footage there, you guys might enjoy it as well. And that's Steamworld Heist. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.